Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got a post here from the Diamond Standard with the HBAR bull. And they're talking about here as to why they chose Hedera, because they've actually migrated over from Ethereum to Hedera in regards to their products and services. Now, I just wanted to cover this because I wanted to show you exactly why I believe long term a lot of people who are working on Ethereum will eventually migrate over to Hedera, and this guy really breaks it down very succinctly. So I thought I'd go through this and then I can show you for yourself so you can hear all this. And I think this pretty much explains everything you need to know. And the long story short of it is just that Ethereum it can't match up to Hedera. Like, Ethereum is great in terms of it was the first of its kind. So, you know, we always pay homage, right? Like, I always give Bitcoin its respect because it was the first cryptocurrency ever created. If it wasn't for Bitcoin, we wouldn't have HBAR, you know, other great cryptocurrencies, XRP, XDC, XLM. You know, the list goes on. I could go on about that. But the point is, I give respect actually to Ethereum and Bitcoin, although I don't like the way Ethereum have played dirty to get themselves ahead. I definitely don't think they've played fair in regards to getting themselves to where they are. But in terms of it as a cryptocurrency, yeah, I respect what it's done. But I just think it's outdated now. And we've got a clear, better competitor. And so eventually, over time, I think we will see that eventually, you know, these people will be coming over to Hedera, and I think this will explain why. So we've got here Rajiv Sohal, and he is the CTO of the Diamond Standard, and the HBAR bull just asked him, you know, what made him come over to Hedera? What does he do on Hedera? So first off, Rajiv actually said, look, we were originally using Ethereum and it was working well. So again, I'm not here to try and just completely bash Ethereum. They said it was going well until they had the high and unpredictable gas fees. Obviously, this is one of the things I've told you myself. I've used Ethereum myself personally. I agree. The gas fees are horrendous. It's ridiculous how bad the gas fees can get. And the worst thing is that when the actual network gets congested, you can pay the gas fee and sometimes the transaction will fail. And you've still lost your money from the gas fee. So then you have to pay again, or sometimes you have to try and pay a more premium gas fee in hope that the request will get actioned. So, you know, sometimes you're having to pay even more money just in hope that it will go through. You know, like, I remember when like NFTs was really big, and I can't remember which NFT it was. I think it might have been like the monkey ones. I forgot what they're called now, but they was doing really well, and basically there were people trying to mint the NFTs, and I'm sure I saw someone say like they spent like over $3,000 in gas fees because it kept failing, so they had to keep trying to get it done, but it was so congested. But they obviously wanted to make sure that they got the NFT minted and whatnot, so they kept trying. And I think they said they racked up around $3,000 in gas fees just to get it done. Like, that's just not sustainable, guys. People are not going to keep doing that. Not going to keep doing that long term. So yeah, he said, you know, they was with Ethereum and it was fine until they, you know, got to the point where the high and unpredictable gas fees, it just made it unviable as a business for them to do that. And I agree, because imagine you're trying to do a service and the fees are just keep fluctuating. You never know what you're going to be paying. And the thing is with the gas fees on Ethereum, they're not cheap. So it's not like you're saying, oh, you know, it's the difference of paying like 10 cents and maybe, you know, 20 cents, you know, 30 cents. Like, we're talking like going up to like $10, $20, hundreds of dollars at times. Like, that's how big this can get. So you can imagine what that can be like, right? So this kind of stuff, again, it's just not sustainable. So of course, this is something that made them decide in the end that they was going to go over to Hedera. So the next thing they talk about is the Hedera token service. And, you know, he says, look, this is something that just fits like a hand in a glove to us in terms of what we're trying to do. It was something that was so great for us because for them as a service, it was something that they could use rather than having to build something up from scratch. So they just use the Hedera token service to create the tokens that they need. And it's not something that they have to literally build up from absolute scratch, right? So again, that's useful, right? So think about that from an institutional perspective. Once again, they would obviously want to come over to Hedera because they haven't got to do this from the ground up. You've got the Hedera token service. It's something that you can utilize from the get-go. So again, another positive. Another thing that they say is that they believe in the governance model because, you know, they're an institutional product. So for them, that this is a great thing, like having the governing council. It makes it look good. And this was something that I think it was Sushil of Drop said. the thing about having a governing council as well is like when you're trying to promote yourself to other companies, when you say that you're with a network that has like a governing council and you can like mention all the companies that are part of the governing council, it looks better to you as a company, right? Because you're saying like, well, I'm with a network that's backed with companies like Boeing and Google and IBM. Like, you hear all these types of companies, you're like, wow, that sounds big. So again, it adds to the reputation and how it looks for them as a company, right? So I completely get that. And another thing they actually said is they actually did look at other blockchains when they was deciding to migrate from Ethereum. And they stumbled upon Hedera, and Hedera was the one that they ended up to decide to actually build upon. And they said the reason because of this is the security, the reliability, and the low predictable fees. Now, this is stuff that I've kind of said to you on a good few occasions when I'm really comparing the two, because I've said this for a long time, like guys, and it might sound like I'm being a broken record, but it's just the truth. And like, you've got things like this that just back up what I'm saying. At the end of the day, with Ethereum, I understand that people are on Ethereum just because simply it's got the first mover advantage. It was the first of its kind. It's been out for longer. And as I say, they played dirty to get to where they are. I'm sorry, but it's just as simple as that. There's no denying that in my mind. Now that's all come out from ETHgate, from the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. So as far as I'm concerned, they didn't get there off of just their own merit. They paid to play. But okay, whatever. Let's just put that to the side. They've got to where they've got to. The thing is, guys, it's just like with Bitcoin. There's so many other cryptocurrencies now that are just better. That's just the truth. We can all give Bitcoin its props. We can all give Ethereum its props. As I say, first of its kind. But there's just better solutions out there now. So why wouldn't you go to the better solutions? And when you think of all the things that have just been mentioned here, can you not think that all the other institutions would think the same way? What institution are going to want to work on Ethereum long term when you can just go to a network like Hedera, which is way cheaper? Like, why would you be happy building on Ethereum with high unpredictable gas fees? Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, I do think at the moment people build on Ethereum, but I think that really is just because it's the one that's the most known. Like, if Bitcoin could do this kind of stuff, people would build on Bitcoin over Ethereum. Do you see what I'm saying? Because Bitcoin's the most safest crypto out there. Let's just be honest. Like, Bitcoin's the only crypto that the SEC have even said, like, okay, we won't touch Bitcoin. Like, that's fine. That's the only one that you can really say with comfort is safe. So, to me, when I look at this, like, this is just people going with Ethereum just because there's so many people over there. There's so much developers over there. They've already had so much of a head start. So developers stay with where they're comfortable. I get that. But long term, that's not going to stick. That's not going to stick long term at all. So this is how it's going to be for now. But long term, this isn't going to be sustainable for companies. So I think as it is at the moment, I think people stick to Ethereum just because it's the bigger network. It's the safer network. But long term, once they start seeing other companies like Hedera having all these advantages over Ethereum, it's not going to stay that way. I think eventually they will just completely migrate from Ethereum and just stick to other networks. And look, I'm not going to say all of these have to be Hedera. They could go to other networks as well, right? That's possible. But I do think Hedera is definitely the great alternative to Ethereum. To me, I would say so. I would personally say, like, Hedera is the replacement to Ethereum in my opinion. Now, there could be other chains that you could say to me could be, another fit that could replace Ethereum. Okay, fair enough. Like, I don't know every single cryptocurrency out there, so, I'm not going to act like I do. But for me, from the research I've done, I personally look at Hedera for this. So, we will see, but I just thought I would show you this, guys, because this is where you've got actual institutions talking about Hedera, and you can see what they're saying. And this institution, who are tokenizing diamonds, they left Ethereum. They've come to Hedera. So that's an example of you seeing people choosing Hedera over Ethereum. And I don't see why you won't just see more of that long term. I don't see why you won't see many companies who are on Ethereum currently migrating over to Hedera. Do you see what I'm saying? I think this is just the first of many to come. So it's just going to take time. But with that being said, the lawsuit that's coming to consensus, like it's looking like the SEC are going to sue consensus. I mean, that could have a big impact. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I do think because Ripple have already kind of been the first to go through a lawsuit and win, I think it's very possible that people won't be as worried as before, because I think when it happened to Ripple, it was the first of its kind and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. But I think now that obviously we've seen how things are going with the SEC in many of these core battles with like Coinbase, etc., I think they might feel a bit more comfortable that like, yeah, Ethereum's going to win, they'll be fine, that kind of thing. So they might not be as worried. It might not have the same impact as what it had on Ripple and XRP. But who knows? Like, you could still get, you know, the odd developers who are a bit spooked and don't want to risk it. So, you know, who knows what could happen. But these things that are being said are all reasonable and plausible explanations as to why people would want to choose Hedera over Ethereum. So these are all valid opinions. So to me, I just think long term, this is the way it's going to go. I think Ethereum may still have its place just because, you know, it's an OG crypto. But I do think they will get overtaken in the end. I think there will be other networks that will just completely outshine them because there's just many better solutions at this point. So I'll leave it there, but just some food for thought, guys. But what do you guys think? The Diamond Standard migrating from Ethereum to Hedera. Do you like the sound of this? Do you agree that other companies will migrate from Ethereum over to Hedera long term? Do you think that this would be good for HBAR's price? Or do you not like the sound of this? Do you not think that companies will migrate from Ethereum to Hedera long term? Or do you just think that this won't be good for HBAR's price overall long term? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.